If you are a parent in the Republic of South Africa, you have every reason to be afraid, to be very, very afraid. I'm a mom to a 1-year-old boy, and after listening to this video, I am exceptionally enraged and very afraid for the future of our children. I want you to watch this video and I'll be back with my commentary.
Good afternoon, friends. I just want to quickly bring you up to speed with the Basic Education Law Amendment. It's a bill that's currently on public participation hearings. It's an amendment to the Basic Education Law, and the changes that are proposed are very far-reaching and will have a massive impact on your child and on your child's schooling. Critically, basically what's happening is that the government is taking all power of schooling. They're centralizing control. This will pertain not only to public schools, but private schools and even homeschools, quite shockingly. So broadly, just speaking quickly, what they want to do is government will have the final say over the language policy of your school, the admissions policy of your school, and the curriculum policy of your school, which will include CSE, Comprehensive Sexuality Education. You know, parents rejected it previously, and government had no right to enforce it because governing bodies had the choice. They will now no longer have the choice. Comprehensive sexuality education is very different to sex ed, which is a biological explanation of what sex is. Sexuality education teaches your child from as young as the age of 4 that they have sexual rights, and sorry to say it and even mention it, but they even teach children how to masturbate from very young ages. Just quite shocking. The other thing that the government plans to do is to allow schools to sell alcohol, which the DA is already doing at schools after hours and for non-school related activities. They will criminalize parents if your children are not at school from the ages of 5. So by the way, from now on, your child will have to go to school from the age of 5 turning 6. So grade R will now become compulsory. They will criminalize parents that do not bring their children to school or are not ensuring that their children are at a school. You will get either jail time or a fine or both. Jail time can go up to a whole year. As part of securing a place at a school, you as a parent will need to provide proof that your child has been immunized. And if your child has not been immunized, you will have to, the wording says, secure the necessary immunizations in order for your child to be accepted at school. Now remember, if you don't do that, and this could at a later stage possibly even include the vaccination that everybody was arguing about a few years ago. That vaccination, if you do not secure vaccinations according to what is mandatory, then you can be criminally charged because your child will now not be allowed access to school. One of the other changes is that teachers will have to facilitate access to abortions. In other words, they have to inform a child 12 years old and older that there are abortion facilities and where they are. And then importantly, this is just absolutely outrageous. Your own child, for goodness sake, they may not tell you that your child has had an abortion. Just absolutely outrageous the way they are sidelining parents and taking control of our children. It's unacceptable. I don't accept it. Importantly, what the ACDP has highlighted is Section 41, which will give the Basic Education Minister broad powers to make regulations, which she doesn't have to run past any of us, the same as what Minister Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma didn't have to run any regulations past anybody during the state of disaster. That is what this Section 41, the rights that it will grant the minister. I just want to quickly think I spoke about this, the homeschooling. They will be formalizing aspects of homeschooling. How absolutely outrageous. And your child, whether homeschooled or not, will have to be registered by the Department of Education. Families, this is now the time to say to this government, enough. We are pushing back. I've said it before, I say it again. Our children are not wards of the state. We have final authority over our children, and we will exercise that authority. We will not allow a communist-centered government to take control over our children's education. This bill needs to be seen in light of the fact that there are the international bodies like the United Nations, UNESCO, and the World Health Organization that are all pushing down demands on governments across the world relating to vaccines and other issues. For example, the SOGI, the teaching of the whole alphabet soup ideology to children, really just warping children's minds, indoctrinating them. We need to put a stop to it. I'm going to put all the information so that we're not just making a mountain out of a molehill, but that we are genuinely concerned for our children's safety, mental health, emotional well-being, and that we want to protect them from this government. I thank you and God bless you. Bye-bye.
After watching this video, my heart is deeply distressed. There used to be a time when, as Christian parents, we could choose to homeschool our children because maybe we didn't agree with the curriculum, or we didn't agree with what the infrastructure that's already set in the educational system was providing our children. We are coming into times when that is not going to be possible. You can still homeschool your child, but they will still control the curriculum that you use to teach them. Prayer governors, if you're a part of this community and you stay in South Africa, we are going to be facing very difficult times as parents. I charge you, by the mercies of God, to start taking seriously the praying for your children's future. And I'm talking about their educational systems, the legislation that is passed around their education and what they are programmed in their minds. I need us to be very intentional about making sure that we're praying about these things, not just saying we're praying, but actually doing the praying. Since watching this video, I have looked all over social media. Currently, I do not see any petition that has been signed up. And so one of the biggest reasons why I am posting this here, because somebody knows somebody that knows somebody that stands for this type of matter and can create a petition. If the petition is not yet existing, I am praying and calling upon brave people that work in the educational sector or people that are activists to create a petition, because people are ready to sign a petition to make sure that this bill is not passed. Every person that I have shared this with has asked me where the petition is, and nobody has yet since started a petition to make sure that this bill does not pass. The devil is a liar. If you are a parent in this land, this is the time for brave people to arise. It is a time for parents to stand for what is right. It is a time for parents to stand for the freedom to be able to educate and to inform their children according to their personal values. We're coming at a point in time where our children are going to be taught very strange doctrines in the educational system, and we won't have anything to do about it and any say. If there was a better time to tell people to start educating their children in their homes and not cede the agency and the power to do that to teachers, it is now. We've said this before, and we've continued to hear about this even while we're growing up, that education begins at home. But this is really the time when education must start beginning at home, especially for Christian parents. Teach your kids from home. Train your kids to believe and to fight for what they believe. There is a new breed of children that are, unfortunately, our kids are going to be forced to be in this time that's coming, where they need to know their values, they need to know what they believe in, and they need to contend and fight for it even from a young age. My prayer in this season as an intercessor is, may God shake evil off of its throne. If there be people in high places that are moving and shifting these bills at such an exponential speed, may there be a shaking in the name of Jesus Christ. I'm praying for our young kids. May there be a wall of fire and a ring of protection that surrounds them in this season. a covering over their minds from any indoctrination and any high things that might be lifted against them and against their innocence in this season. Prayer governors, there is pending perversions like you have never seen before that are coming onto this earth. And their mandate is to pervert the upcoming generation. And if you truly do pray, if you are indeed a person of prayer, I need you to start becoming very intentional about praying for our future generation. In fact, our future generation is literally the ones that we're raising right now. So we need to be very intentional about praying for their futures. If you are watching this video and you've just watched that clip that I shared, and you know somebody that can do something about it, whether creating a petition or somebody that can contest a bill, this is the time to forward this video to them and help them to understand where we're at and that we need them to rise up as a voice for such a time as this. Let's get on our knees and let's start praying. But most importantly, people need to start being active, intentionally active with regards to fighting this bill so that we can really genuinely create a world that we're proud of, a world that we can be for our kids. God bless you, prayer governors. You've been watching T for Travail, and this is Melody from House of Hosting Heaven.